His knack for working with a chassis is a stuff of legend, but during his career, things were done his way or he'd hit the highway. Today on Man Behind the Wrenches, we tell the story of Suitcase Jake Elder. Next. He sowed his fiery personality in the farmland around Statesville, North Carolina, where he grew up. Born into a farming family, Jake Elder didn't have an inkling about racing until farming started to frustrate him. Hello and welcome to Men Behind the Wrenches. I'm your host, Jeff Hammond. In 1960, Jake was 24 years old and looking to try something new. He decided to take up welding. 3 years later, he heard Richard Petty was looking for someone with those skills, and he landed his first of many jobs in NASCAR racing. In a career that would span 4 decades, Jake Elder discovered he had a magic touch with the chassis, but a restlessness that led him to work with many different teams. Thus, the legend of Suitcase Jake was born. Jake's NASCAR journey started as a welder.
I was working up at this plant called Kiwanis Technic, where they make furniture, but on one side they did woodwork, and the other side they did metalwork. So I was on the metal side, so I was a welder up there. So I did that for about 7 years, and I said, well, I need to do something else, you know what I mean? So one day I went past Richard Petty's over there, and I said, y'all need a welder? Yeah. All right. And so I said, well, I'll go work for Richard. Went to work for Richard, and I said, how much you pay? He said, well, I can't pay much money. At that time, it wasn't paying. You know how much I was making a week? $94 a week. And I was married and had 2 kids. I said, Lord have mercy. And I said, he starved me to death. I said, I like him, but he starved me to death.
Jake searched for a better way to support his family. He landed at the ultimate school for mechanics, Holman and Moody.
So I went past Holman Moody one day. Oh, Ralph Moody standing out there, and I said, Ralph, you ain't a welder? Yes, sir. We're looking for a couple of them. I said, I'm your man. I said, how do you pay? He said, we pay by the hour. We pay time and a half, over 40 hours. I said, God, I'm not. So I said, all right. I said, when can you start to work? I said, wait till I get all my stuff gathered up here and I move. I'm going to move out of Ramlin over here. And I'm moving over here to Charlotte. I moved over to Charlotte, right below the airport, you know what I mean? And I went over there, and I worked there, and first week I draw a check. I said, Lord have mercy. I can't believe it. I drawed $490 clear money. I thought I was in hog heaven, huh?
Holman and Moody was the place to be in the sport during the era. With drivers like Fred Lorenzen, Cale Yarborough, David Pearson, and Mario Andretti, it was a mechanic's dream. For Jake, like many other mechanics of his era, Ralph Moody became his mentor.
Ralph Moody gave me a big break. He said, hey, he said, you're my man. He said, you know what's going on. He said, you'll learn this in a heartbeat. So that's where I got started.
The ones that stayed, and the ones that still there, Keith Russell was with a team up there. No, it was a bunch of guys that there. We had a lot of it, didn't last long. The ones that lasted are still at it.
Jake's first big assignment at Holman Moody was working with Mario Andretti's car. It was an instant success as Mario won the 1967 Daytona 500.
We led 149 laps out of 200 that day. And so back then, they didn't have no radios, You just had to communicate, by a pit board. And so I couldn't get Mario in. I said, you gonna run out of gas? He's gonna run out of gas. I couldn't get him to look at that board. I said, man, he's gonna run out of gas, I said, what are we gonna do, I went way out to the pit road, and NASCAR guys, you can't do that. I said, I gotta get my damn driver in, I said, he's gonna run out of gas. Sure enough, I finally got him in, Boy, if he'd run another lap, he'd run out of gas, just like that. Anyway, we led all them laps, won that Daytona 500.
Yeah, that was a strange thing. They had Mario was at Riverside, California, and Ford liked Mario because they were involved with the IndyCars. So they got talking at the racetrack about Mario. Why don't they take him put him in stock car for Daytona. He'd be a big draw, and France wanted him. And so Holman says he's too little a driver on those big cars. And somebody in Ford agreed with him and all that. And I said, well, I'll tell you what. I said, somebody ought to do something about getting him in one. So finally we all agreed that that's what we'd do. So we built him a race car in 14 days. Because we didn't have one and we had to build it, and it was late getting it all done.
You built it from start to finish in 14 days.
And we took it down there. But the problem we had in the race, Mario couldn't find the pits. When he'd go by, we had a pit there with a big board and everything, but that whole, he just couldn't find the pit. So he never got any signals. He didn't have radio. So he run out of gas. He run out of gas at least twice. And he'd come from the back of the pack and go out and run again. And of course, when he come in and he won the race, he was just high in that kite, boy. He was something else. He went there the first time, and he won and all that. And I think he made $30,000 maybe or something if he made that much.
Jake's expertise with that car would bring him together with a future star. Jake Elder had won the Daytona 500 in his first crew chief job at Holman Moody. For the 1968 season, Jake was paired with David Pearson. The duo won 16 races, earned 20 top fives, along with 14 poles en route to the championship.
Yeah, it was definitely a step up. When I went to Holman and Moody's and I went in there and seen all those cars being built, 2 or 3 dynos, motors sitting everywhere and all, and I said, yeah, this is the place I need to be. They got everything that you need to do to race.
Me and David, we got along good. He never did want to argue with me, nothing. He just said, Jake, you just tell me what you want. He said, I'll drive it. You know what I mean? And me and Pearson just struck it off. And I liked him. I liked him as a person. I liked him as a driver. And he used to kid me a lot, He said, oh, Jake. He said, oh, Jake's my hero, you know what I mean? He'd always brag on me, He said, right there, a smart man.
The following season, Jake and David backed up their championship with 11 wins, 31 top fives, and a second title. It was a remarkable accomplishment for a small crew.
We had a truck driver, Then me and another guy was on went to the racetrack. That's all we had. Then the pit crew come in on the weekend. That's what we did. That's how we did it. We'd run Trenton, New Jersey, all them races, and we didn't have no help. When you won that championship that year, we thought, well, this is it. This is what we've been looking for, you know what I mean? I said, ain't nobody gonna beat us, Sure enough, we had a good year that year.
After 7 years of success at Holman Moody, Jake decided to move on. He moved between teams and soon became known as Suitcase Jake.
I'd go work for a team, and I don't like what they was doing. And I'd tell them, I said, I told you not to do this, They said, look, we're gonna do it this way. I said, all right, you do it your way. You ain't gonna do it for me. I'm going on somewhere else. I'd quit them and go somewhere else, get me a job next day. Huh?
In 1972, a young brash driver, Darrell Waltrip, was trying to break through into the big-time stock car racing. His speed weeks was turning into a disaster in a car he had bought from Holman Moody. When his path crossed with Jake, it was the beginning of a lifelong friendship.
Found Dick Hutchison. I said, Hutch, you got to fix my car for me, man. I got to take it back to your shop and put a snout on it and get it fixed so I can get it back down here and qualify on Thursday. No way. All my people are down here working on this car. I said, well, so what am I going to do? He said, the only guy down here that can help you is Jake Elder. And Jake worked on that car. Mario won the 500 in it. Jake worked on it when it was over at Holman and Moody. Jake knows all about the car. He's down here. I'll loan him to you, and he can come down there after he gets finished today and help you fix the car. That's how I met Jake.
Darrell needed Jake's experience and set out to hire him.
And Darrell says, what's going on for me? You got any money? At the time, I wasn't working much. He said, no, but we might get some money. I said, well, how much you pay me? He said, well, I can't pay you much. I said, well, how much? He said, I'll pay you $900 a month. $900 a month. I said, well, that ain't much money, is it? Well, that's all I can afford to pay right now. So that's how we got started.
We ate together. We slept together. We traveled together. We stayed in the same hotel room together. Me and him and Stevie stayed in the same hotel room together. He drove the truck and took my dog, Charlie Brown, and he and Charlie Brown would start off to Dover, Delaware, or to Pocono, or wherever we was going, just Jake up in that old international truck and my dog, Charlie Brown. I mean, quite honestly, I could have never, two people I could have never made it without, and that was Robert G. and Jake Elder.
Jake's knowledge of a chassis would soon turn Darrell Waltrip into a contender. Jake's experience guided Darrell Waltrip in his early career. Through their struggles, Jake's faith in Darrell's future never wavered.
He kept telling me, he said, I'll tell you something, Jake, I'm going to be the best of the best. I used to kid him. I said, you couldn't drive a damn wheelbarrow. You know, I'd kid him, you know. And he said, I'll show you how you wait till I get me a Winter Cup right. Sure enough, baby, he got that Winter Cup right. Now, when he used to drive the Gardeners, you know, now, baby, I want to tell you something. I saw him one day down at Garden. The road was blocked. This ain't no lie. There's a wreck coming off number 4 corner. It was a bad wreck. Darrell running something like, he might have been running 4th or 5th, you know, maybe further back than that. He wasn't going to finish no better than that either. And this big wreck happened in front of him, you know, all them cars just a wrecking and a dodging this back and forth. Darrell drove right through him. Just like threading a needle, you know what I mean? Won that race. I said, God almighty, that son of a bitch, he's tough, you know what I mean? You know, Darrell's tough. So on that day, Darrell walked, I said, I saw the light in Darrell. I said, he's a race car driver.
Jake made his reputation with an uncanny ability to work with the chassis. It was his unmatched skill that gave him an advantage over his competition.
I had like a feel for everything, you know what I mean? They would tell me what the car is doing, and what driver it was, you know. I said, just tell me what it's doing. Don't try to tell me how to fix it. Just tell me what it's doing. I can fix it. Sure enough, they tell me what, you know, and I'd go right to it.
Jake was the best. I don't know any other way to say it. At his time, when you just had to go by gut feelings on how to set a race car up, what springs, what shocks, what the car needed. We were at Daytona one time, and we were struggling. We were running like 193 or 4. And Jake says, I'll fix the car if you'll take everybody to lunch. I said, boy, that's cheap. So I took everybody to lunch. Well, Jake stayed. We got back. I went out on the racetrack, 198 miles an hour. That's Jake Elder. That's exactly what he could do. He said he could fix it. He fixed it. And let me tell you, boy, that's the best lunch I ever had to buy.
Jake's skill with the chassis was a perfect complement for young drivers.
And he'd come over that car and he'd put that window net down and, boy, I mean, how's that car driving, you know? Well, we're going to have to make a little change. We're going to change 4 springs and a sway bar, put some shocks on that car, and you're going to win this race.
Through his career, Jake mentored many up-and-comers. By 1979, he landed a job at Osterlund Racing with a rookie named Dale Earnhardt.
So Rod Osterlund, he called me up one day and says, I'd like to work on Dale Earnhardt's car. I said, that rookie? I said, Dale's a rookie. So I know that, but he said, you think you can take him and make a winner out of him? I said, well, I ain't saw one yet, I can't, you know. So he said, well, come on and go work for us. I said, okay, I'll come work for you.
Jake's unique relationship with Dale Earnhardt would shape the Intimidator's early career. As Jake Elder's career entered its 4th decade, his tough-as-nails attitude followed him, making him sometimes tough to work with, but full of lessons for those young mechanics and drivers who observed closely.
He knew what he wanted to do, but he was not a good communicator. So when people were working for you and you surround him with people, they actually got in his way. And he'd get frustrated with people because they wouldn't do the job right, or they wouldn't do it the way he wanted them to. And he was not a good teacher of people helping him work on the cars, and he wasn't a good communicator, and that made it very difficult for him to get along with people. And he'd start off really well, but pretty soon, you know, he'd back somebody in a corner and about ready to bust them upside the head or throw a wrench at them or cuss them out, or, you know, and the first thing you know, you got a war on your hands.
Well, I guess I was over anxious with doing what I was doing. And a lot of them drivers, I couldn't get to the attention. I couldn't get it through the head what I wanted them to do. But I'd get mad in hell, you know what I mean? I'd just tell them, listen here, you do what I tell you to do. Don't you try to tell me what to do. You listen to what I'm going to tell you. I said, you understand where I'm coming from now? Well, I think I do. Well, I said, it's better dig in. If it don't, we can't see the light.
By April of 1979, Dale Earnhardt earned his first career victory under Jake's guidance. Dale also earned Rookie of the Year honors that season. The following year, the Osterlund team got off to a fast start under Jake's guidance, earning 5 wins en route to Dale's first Winston Cup title.
Dale was he was a hard person to understand. A lot of people didn't understand Dale, but you know, I understood him. I knew where he's coming from. I knew where he'd been, and what he's looking forward to. You know what I mean? And I told him, I said, Dale, you're gonna have to take this one step at a time now, and you got to quit being having this chip on your shoulder. This little man up on your shoulder would gouge your throat all the time, making you do things you didn't want to do. I said, take it easy. You know, sure enough, this one word going there, you know, and he listened to me, you know what I mean? And everything I tell him to do, he'd do it, you know what I mean? And that's why me and Dale got along good. Oh yeah, I miss old Dale. Dale was a good person to me. I mean, I liked him. I liked him as a person, and I liked him for a race car driver. He was the best I've ever ever saw. He could take it down. He could take anything and make something out of it.
Earnhardt always had a special place for Jake because of Jake being with him during his early years.
Jake moved on halfway through the 1980 season to work with other drivers. Through his career, he worked with names like Terry Labonte, Sterling Marlin, and Davey Allison.
Terry was a good race car driver. He was a quiet person. Never did show his temper. Never did bad. Just an easy-going driver. You know what I mean? And I used to kid him a lot. Damn, Terry, you got to get tougher from what you are. You got to get rough on that racetrack. Davey had a good head on him. He would listen to you. You know, but he would listen to me because there was. I guess he realized that I was older than he was. You know what I mean? And every what he told me, he would believe in me. You know what I mean? Because he knew that I done been that road. You know what I mean? And I tell Davey what's going to happen about the day or tomorrow and what we're going to do. Sure enough, that's exactly what had happened. You know what I mean? And Davey come along and said, you know what, Jake? How'd you know all this stuff? I said, I just learned it.
Throughout his incredible career, Jake's wrench brought success to many blossoming drivers and mechanics. Through his 5 decades in the sport, Suitcase Jake Elder had worked with the greats and influenced legends. He was a guru that fellow mechanics and drivers went to for advice.
I more or less took him up on my wing, you know, and I knew I was older than they was, and I felt like I knew just a little bit more than they did at that time, which I did. And I would tell them something, and sometimes they go around different drivers and say, you know, Jake told me this and told me that. They said, well, he ought to know what he's talking about, because he said he has been down this road, and he has done this. They said, you better listen to him. And sure enough, they come back and tell me, said, hey, what you want me to do, I'm going to do it.
From his humble start to his 2 championships and many victories, Jake's remarkable NASCAR journey may have ended, but he has touched many lives and careers.
I wonder whatever would have happened if Jake Elder had stayed with one team. Now, here's a guy that went from team to team to team, earned the nickname Suitcase, absolutely earned the name Suitcase, because he just couldn't keep himself planted. He would get into conflicts with drivers and with other people on the team and with the team owner, and off he'd go. I think if Jake Elder could have stayed with one team for year after year after year after year, he would have won a lot more races and a lot of championships as well. Pretty smart guy, a man for his times.
Jake came from the School of Hard Knocks. And he had a very, very difficult life before he and Debbie met and they married. But he was a hard worker. He was what you would describe as a salt of the earth person. And when it came to down-home street knowledge, he was very well educated.
When you got in one of Jake Elder's cars, it wasn't like a lot of guys, and I'm sure this happens to young drivers. You get out there and you wonder, well, I don't know, I can't drive. I just scared me to death. Well, it wasn't because you were scared of the track or you didn't have the nerve to drive. Your car wasn't set up right. With Jake, the car was always perfect, always drove perfect.
Jake Elder's influence on so many NASCAR superstars has not gone unnoticed. As a seasoned veteran from an era of crew chiefs that included legends like Harry Hyde and Herb Nabb, Suitcase Jake's legacy is well preserved. He will always be remembered as an innovator who competed with the best. For Men Behind the Wrenches, I'm Jeff Hammond, and thanks for joining us.